This video is brought to you by Mubi, a curated streaming service dedicated to elevating great cinema from all around the globe. Get a whole month free at mubi.com/Cinemonika.
Welcome to Cinemonika.
Welcome to my film diary where I talk about everything that I've watched lately, TV shows, movies. Is my mirror dirty? Now that I'm looking at it, I feel like it's pretty dirty. You guys know that I love movies. I watch movies all the time, but actually I haven't been watching a lot of movies in the last couple months. I've been watching a lot of TV shows though. Part of the reason is because I've been pretty busy. The truth is I've been playing a lot of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. It's like grabbing me by the throat because I just want to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing. But anyways, I'm gonna talk about everything that I've watched. There's a lot of things, including the Succession ending. Let's move over to a different location. Okay, let's start with a TV show that I watched at the beginning of April, and that's Beef. And I'm sure a lot of you guys watched it too. I feel like it's been a long time now. Look at this. Look at this. I've always loved Steven Yeun and everything that he's in. I feel like he really knows how to pick projects. And this show is like no other show that I've ever seen. It was so exhilarating, so fun, and so unique. It was even way funnier than I thought it would be. Steven and Ali Wong did an amazing job, and I think they have really good chemistry. It was truly such a fun show to watch. Then I went and watched The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock, which I had never actually seen before. I thought it was like a slow burn, but in the end, it actually really worked. I was terrified of those birds. They look super fake. They don't look like real birds, and I'm not actually scared of real birds either, but I don't know, I feel like I put myself in that position of if I was attacked by 100 birds. No wonder he is the master of suspense. Of course, I went and watched the Super Mario Brothers movie because I am a huge Nintendo fan. They did this movie for the Mario fans, for people who would recognize every single musical note, every single setting, every single game. Personally, I didn't watch this movie for the storytelling. I didn't watch it because I wanted a deep meaning to Mario. I watched it because I thought it would be fun and nostalgic. That is exactly what it was, and I was really happy about that. I like to have fun, you know, and this was really fun. Then I watched Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's new movie Air. I thought it was a pretty pleasant movie. It was a nice movie, entertaining. This is a movie that you could watch with like your dad or your family. It's just like a nice, entertaining movie. Then I watched The Master because it was the pick for my film club, the little film club on Discord. Do not kill me, but I had actually never seen him before. And to be honest, The Master was a masterpiece. It's about this guy played by Joaquin Phoenix who has PTSD from the military, and he's just feeling lost. He's feeling this anger inside of him, and he meets this guy who is the leader of a religious cult. He gets into this new religion while also fighting his inner demons. It's just a really incredible movie, and to see someone who is clearly a broken man trying to cling on to something, to try to feel something, try to change who he is. It's a very, very interesting movie and extremely well acted. Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace, he's a master, like the movie says. Well, there's some shots in this movie that have been ingrained in my mind forever because they were just incredible. Yeah, truly a masterpiece. I'm glad that we picked this movie for the film club. Then I watched Pearl. I had not seen Pearl either. I thought that it was such a cool concept, and my understanding is that they made it in like no time, which is incredible. I think they shot X and Pearl at the same time, right? It was very minimal too. Like it had only like 5 characters max, about 2 or 3 settings, and it was a really simple story, but it really captivated me. I think a lot of that has to do with Mia Goth's performance. She was amazing. That girl, she looks deranged. My only thing, I guess, about it is that this is a bit of a spoiler. That girl at the end, she did not even try to run from Pearl. Pearl was following her. I would somehow become the Flash and I would run for my life. She was not even trying. Then I watched Bottle Rocket from Wes Anderson because I was making my Wes Anderson ranking video. So if you haven't watched it yet, it's the video before this one. I said everything that I think about that movie in my ranking video, but pretty much I think it's a fine movie. It's okay. It's not really one of my favorite Wes Anderson movies. Of course, it was his very first movie and he wrote it with Owen Wilson, which I think it's cool because he also stars stars in it. But it was just kind of messy, kind of boring. No clear goal, I guess. Yeah, a little bit messy and not my fave. Then I watched Broker, which I've been wanting to watch for a long time, and I finally did, and I loved it so much. I love Koreeda so much. His movies, they just hit you right in the heart. I was trying to translate. I was trying to say justo en el órgano palpitoso, but I don't know how to say that in English. It stars Song Kang-ho and IU. Yes, IU. I had only ever seen her in like K-dramas and obviously in her singing, but seeing her in this role was actually super eye-opening because she's a great actress. I'm a little uncomfortable now, guys. Maybe I will change my setting once again. Broker broke me, to be honest. Koreeda will always be the master at depicting like broken families and chosen families, makeshift families, if you will. Families that are full of misfits, people that have fallen behind, and they somehow find each other and they bond over that, basically. It just hit me like a ton of bricks, like any of his other movies. My head hurts. I'm wearing contacts, which is not helping because contacts give me a headache. But I changed my glasses and they give me a headache because I have to get accustomed to them. Then I rewatched My Neighbor Totoro because why not? I love that movie. If you're sick or if you're tired or if you don't want to think, just put on My Neighbor Totoro and you will feel better. The only conflict in this movie is that a goat tried to steal the little girl's corn. And she was like, back off, don't touch my corn. Right there, I feel so identified with her. Then I went to the movies and I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Please don't kill me, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I know, it was very emotional. Rocket's backstory made me cry a lot, actually. I almost felt like it was too sad. Even the humor wasn't really that funny. Okay, these last two movies I'm extremely excited to talk about, and they are The Little Mermaid and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I'm gonna start with The Little Mermaid. The entire time I was watching this movie, I kept thinking, wow, Halle looks like a perfect Disney princess. She just has that princess look. Her singing was absolutely beautiful, and even her speaking voice is just so princessy. She seems like a princess to me. In terms of Disney live action remakes, this was absolutely fantastic. It just seemed to have a lot more heart than any of the other live actions that I've seen. And I just love how they kept the original storylines, but they also added some like original elements to the story. It looked fine, it looked colorful as opposed to like the trailers and the promotional photos. I didn't like Ursula's makeup. I did like her performance though, but it's just in terms of the makeup. But overall, I thought it was really, really enjoyable, super fun. The music was incredible. I actually enjoyed the original music that they made for this film. Honestly, this movie deserves the recognition as one of the best Disney live action remakes so far. Now I'm gonna talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I'm still thinking about this movie. I was blown away. It was so fun. The animation, I am in awe at every single frame. It just seems hard to do, and I applaud every single person that worked on this animated movie. The humor was amazing, was super fun. It was a long movie, but I was never ever bored. I don't know if it was better than Into the Spider-Verse because Into the Spider-Verse was incredible, but I feel like it's pretty up there. Like they're both perfect movies. The only bad thing about it is that it ended. Okay, I'm gonna talk about some TV shows that I watched in the past couple months, starting with Sharp Objects. I read this book, or actually I heard it in my audiobook. Really liked the audiobook. It was creepy. It was really creepy. So I was excited to watch this show, and the show was honestly just as creepy. And even though I knew what was gonna happen, I was still super creeped out. It's about this woman played by Amy Adams, and she is a reporter, and she goes back to her hometown because there's been these murders of little girls that have been happening, and she's trying to write an article about it. She has had a really rough childhood though with her mom, and they don't really get along. She has a lot of trauma. Just look for the trigger warnings for this because it's not an easy watch, and it's not an easy read, and it's not an easy listen. She's trying to write this article and at the same time kind of uncover what has been happening. But it was a really great show, incredibly well acted, suspenseful and creepy. The ending of it, oof. Then I watched the final season of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and I'm so sad because I love this show so much. If you guys haven't watched it, it's about this woman in the 1950s, and she wants to be a comedian, a stand-up comedian. You know, during that time, it was really weird for a woman to be a stand-up comedian, but, you know, she goes for it, and she just tries her best alongside her manager, Susie. The whole show is just hilarious. The characters are so lovable. It's from the creator of Gilmore Girls, so it has this kind of like, not necessarily town, but it just has a big ensemble, a big family of characters that all have different personalities. They are eccentric. They obviously talk very fast and say a lot of witty things in true Amy Sherman Palladino fashion. One of the things that I love about this show, apart from the hilarious dialogue, is the cinematography. I think it is a show that deserves so much more recognition for its cinematography. It's absolutely beautiful. It has such incredible long shots. I'm just in awe of this show, and I'm sad that it ended. Now let's talk about Succession. I'm still grieving. I'm still grieving the end of this incredible show. I have rewatched this show 3 times, except for the last season. And I never thought that I would be like such a huge fan of this corporate show about this family. It's great. I love it so much. I love the character developments. I love the writing is just genius and incredibly well acted. I mean, all of these people deserve all of the Emmys. So many Emmys for the entire cast of the show. Super satisfied with the ending. I think it was a good ending. It was a tragic ending, and I feel like from the very beginning this show was a tragedy. If you haven't started to watch Succession, you really should, especially if you're interested in writing and or acting. I think it's an incredible show in those aspects. Now that Succession has ended, I actually started watching Ted Lasso, which I hadn't watched before, and I'm absolutely loving it. It is so fun. At first I was like, really don't want to watch a show about football. Sports? No. But just like Succession, business? No. I'm right there seated watching Ted Lasso because it's so fun, and it's obviously not about football, but it's more about the relationships of these characters and self-growth, and honestly it's pretty hilarious too. I really like it, and it's just so feel good, but it also makes you sad. It's just a very easygoing show, I think, and I like it. And I think that's it. I think that's all I've watched lately. A lot of first watches, surprisingly. I usually have a lot more re-watches. I'm actually glad that I watched some movies that I had never seen before that I've always wanted to watch. I want to talk to you guys about Mubi's Pride and Prejudice season, which illuminates the richness of queer stories. They have an incredible selection of films, from romantic comedies to experimental short films. Basically, it's a collection that celebrates queer artistry and cinema. Some movies that you should definitely check out from Pride and Prejudice are Playback, which is a defiant and tender community portrait exploring the experiences of a group of drag queens amid Argentina's military dictatorship. Arribada, a moving portrait of the lives of trans women of the indigenous Embera community. If you're in the mood for a sitcom, you can watch Girlfriends and Girlfriends. And basically, it's just a great collection of movies. So if you want to be exposed to more queer cinema, then you should definitely check out Mubi's Pride and Prejudice. I just love movies so much because there's always something new to discover. I feel like it's a really fun way of seeing new movies, indie movies. You can watch movies from acclaimed directors, but also from new emerging directors, which I think it's great. So if you want to check out Mubi, you can try it out for 30 days free at mubi.com/Cinemonika. That's MUBI/Cinemonika for a whole month of great cinema for free. Trust me, you will not regret it. It's the best. Okay guys, I'm gonna go play Zelda Tears of the Kingdom probably. But please let me know what you guys have been watching in the comments, if you've seen any of the things that I talked about. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.